today we'll be going through a conditioning based circuit. Now when we talk about conditioning, what we're talking about is not just fatigue, but we're looking to get ourselves better in the things that we want to progressively work towards. So one of those things that we can look at is upgrading our coordination, also working things through like the postural control and stability within certain multiplane movements, and also hopefully this will then lead you further within your calisthenics journey. Also, the idea will be while we're at home, while we're stuck indoors, I'll be using sort of minimal or zero equipment, so hopefully you guys can follow along. Very low barrier to entry. So we'll start with a little bit of movement preparation. We'll then go into which will involve sort of a full body sort of warm up. We'll then go into our lower body specific. We'll then move into upper body specific, and then a little bit of endurance at the end. So building up our frog stand, or specifically pushing endurance. So warm up, lower body, upper body, and then combine some of those things, a little bit of metabolic and endurance work. So we will get started. So from here, I'll have to move you down a little bit. The joy of different cameras. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to get the bottom of the foot, or the plantar fascia, nice and warmed up. So I'm going to be on the floor, I'm going to be on the balls of my feet. So from here we're going to spend 1 minute. So see how, whether you can see in different angles, but I'm going to be curling my toes underneath, and I'm going to be resting on my knees. So to start with, that may be enough for you, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit further back so my hips drop onto my feet. Hopefully you guys can see that. So to start with, curling my toes underneath, I'm going to sit back, resting my bum onto my toes like this. Okay, we're going to have 1 minute here. Ideally I'm taking the whole, or the knuckles of my toes onto the ground. Again, if you need to sit out of this, that's absolutely fine. We're going to have another 30 seconds. Again, oscillating backwards and forwards, just resting. You should feel like quite a good stretch over the bottom of the foot. Remember, our plantar fascia runs all the way up the back of our leg, up that posterior chain, into your calves, your gastroc, up into the hamstring. So you need to make sure that the base of your foot, that's how you contact with the ground. Good. 15 seconds. I can definitely feel it in my left more than my right. Good guys. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Right, so what we're going to do now is a piriformis stretch. Okay, so this is quite a deep muscle within the glutes. So I'm going to be sat on the ground. Sorry, you guys can't really see, can you? Apologies. Move you down. Oh. So, I'll be sat on the ground here. I'm going to take one leg over the top. So I'm going to leave my left foot out, my right foot, that's going to go over the top. I'm going to give it a little hug. Okay? So from here, as I'm hugging this leg, so I've got my left leg straight out, my right leg over the top. I'm going to give this a little hug. Now, depending on your mobility or flexibility, your foot may be further out or it may be further back. So from here, I'm going to give it a little hug, and I'm actually going to twist. I'm going to open towards this right hand side. So squeeze or hug, and I'm going to twist, open. Okay, so I've got my left leg out, I'm squeezing my right, and I'm going to look towards my right hand side. So I can feel a really deep stretch coming through the base of the glute. Okay, quite deep. Good. Hold that and open up. Give myself a nice hug. Good guys. Another 30 seconds. And if you feel that the stretch releases, I can turn a little bit more. So jam this bent foot down and twist more. I can feel it even deeper now. Another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. Good. Nice deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's give that a little shimmy shake. So from here, I'm going to take the other leg over the top. So I'm leaving my right leg out this time. So right leg is sticking out, left leg over the top. Give that a hug. So initially, just give it a little squeeze. I can have a little rock in and out of that. That feels quite nice. And then from here, if I want to increase that amount of stretch, that twisting force, I'm going to lean in or twist towards the side of the bent leg. So for me, it's left leg bent. I'm going to squeeze, open up. Good, guys. That's halfway. Nice deep breaths. Again, just relaxing the central nervous system, telling it everything's okay. Good. 15 seconds. Give it a little bit more of a squeeze. Intensify that stretch further. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Nice, guys. Give it a little shake. So, to start with, we warmed up the base of the foot, and then from there, warming up some of the glutes. Having some difficulties here. One moment. There we go. Is that any better? Yes, that looks better. Right. So from here, we warmed up the base of the feet. We then warmed up the glutes. Now what we're going to do is a kneeling calf stretch. So remember, as I was talking about to start with, the base of the foot transfers into the calf, which transfers into the hamstring. So any sort of tightness within that chain, then that's going to give us a bit of an issue. So from here, I'm now going to bring one knee forwards, playing absolute musical chairs with these cameras today. So I'm kneeling forward. Now from here, I'm going to sit back onto that bent foot. So that may be enough for you, because now, remember, the base of the foot is in full plantar flexion. So we're straightening the foot underneath. So that, you'll feel an intense stretch over the front of that shin. And then from here, I've got my left leg bent, and I'm going to lean in. So notice how I've got like a V or 90 degrees within my hips, and I'm leaning forwards, trying to keep this heel flat to the ground. I can just have a little move around in here, so I can feel a deep stretch coming through the adductors, so the inside of the leg. I'm going to lean in, moving in around. Again, don't worry about taking the knee over the ankle. In fact, this is beneficial for this stretch. So leaning into this position. Good, just having a little explore. I can use this elbow to push that out, and you can feel the stretch going quite deep into the hip girdle there. So remember, the hip looks a lot like the shoulder. So it's like rotating ball and socket. Good, moving in and out. Another 10 seconds. Rolling forwards, back, moving in and out. Use this elbow, 5 seconds. 4, deep breaths through the nose. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we're going to change sides. So take your time, use your hands. We're going to change legs. So now my right leg's coming forwards here. Absolute issues with this. Right. So this time I'm going to take my left leg underneath, and I'm now, so even in that position, remember the ankle is in full plantar flexion. So from here, now I'm leaning into my right. So straight away I can feel my right ankle is tighter than my left. So remember, 90 degrees in the hips, and again, just work to what you're comfortable with. You may find that you need to be quite far forwards, and so you've got tightness through the anterior of your shin here, and also through the ankle here. But for those of you who want to explore, leaning into this position, again trying to keep this heel, my right heel, flat to the ground. Just having an explore, I can use this elbow to push it further out, moving in and out of this position. Good. Another 20 seconds. Again, moving in and out, in, out. Good. Good, another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Really nice, guys. Good. Great work. So, we've done base of the feet, we've done glutes or piriformis, we've then gone into that kneeling stretch. Now we're going to go into what I like to call an elephant walk. So this is both hamstring and a little bit of posterior chain. So an elephant walk. Again, we're not going to be moving, but you'll see what I mean when we go into this in a second. Right, elephant walk. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to hinge forwards, so I can already feel a stretch coming through my hamstrings here. So in this position, I'm going to try and keep my legs straight. So I'm going to try and push my knees backwards like this. Okay, so even in that position I can feel a stretch. From here I'm going to take hold of my top of the shin, or depending on your mobility you might be able to roll further down. So again, don't worry about trying to be neutral through the spine. We're actually activating our spinal flexion here. So hamstrings, hinge at the hips. From here I'm going to hold just above my ankles, but again, depending on your mobility, you might be higher or lower. So from here, I'm going to bend my left knee, straighten, right knee, straighten. And I'm going to just move both legs independently. So I'll show you from the front. I'll move out of the way so you can see. So I'm going to be here, knees pushed all the way back. I'm going to bend one leg, and then I'm going to bend the other leg. So when this leg's bent, this one's straight, and then alternate, alternate. But by adding in that spinal flexion as well, alternate, alternate. I'm just going to do this for 30 seconds. Don't worry about reps, moving backwards and forwards. So I can feel a stretch coming through my hips, I can feel it through my hamstrings, I can feel it quite deep stretch through backs of the legs. Good, cool. Moving left and right, bend one leg, straighten, bend the other, straighten, backwards and forwards. And say, I like to call these elephant walks, but I'm not sure what they're called. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Excellent work, guys. So from here, we're going to do a baby lizard. So again, lots of animal sort of terminology, but you'll get the idea with this baby lizard. So I'm going to be in a lunge position, so similar to that 1990 position that we did earlier for the calf stretch, to get into that, but I'm going to be here at 1990. Now I'm going to put my both hands down, so that's on the inside of this leg, and then I'm just going to move in and out of this position. So feel that stretch coming through, that back hip flexor, just oscillate it in and out. By having the hands on the ground, it takes a little bit of weight, so we feel more free to just explore these positions. I can lean forwards like a long lunge, move it in, out, good. Another 10 seconds. I can really feel it there, so I'm just winding into that position, opening through the adductor, leaning in, so there's lots happening through the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I'm going to change sides now, so I'll just change so you can see through the camera. So here I'm going to take left leg out. Again, both hands on the inside of this leg, taking some of that pressure. For the moment, notice how I'm leaving this back knee on the ground. Again, it just helps mitigate some of that pressure that we're putting through the hip girdle. We will go through all this again, and then we're going to take the back knee off if you feel confident. So, hands on the ground. Again, moving in and out of these positions, oscillating left to right. I can try forwards and backwards, and then I'm going to try to do a little full circle through there. Again, it almost looks like a really long lunge position. Feeling that stretch. Good, another 15 seconds. Good. I say I especially feel it when I lean towards the bent leg. I can feel a stretch coming through my adductors. Good. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So notice how one of the main things I'm encouraging you to do is explore within these positions. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's got a different history, or whether they've got injury or things that they are potentially better at or things they need to work on. So this is for you to go away and make a mental note. My left hand side feels a little bit tighter. I need to potentially work through that and start spending some time mobilizing. Right, so we're going to go through that again. So hopefully you got a little bit of an idea coming up, but don't worry, I'll be leading it, so I'm not expecting you to remember everything. Right, so plantar stretch to start with. Hopefully you guys can see now. Again, my tripod's a little bit wonky or a little bit broken, so just trying to make the best. So remember, toes, jam the toes into the ground. I'm going to sit back onto my heels. Remember, if you're struggling, you can use some weight or you can be further up here. But for those of you who want to increase that stretch, we can sit into this position. I can even lean back a little bit so I can drive my weight through the tips of my toes, pushing in. I can also add a little bit of hip flexor in there as well. Good. Nice deep breaths. I'm trying to nasal breathe as much as possible. But again, just moving backwards and forwards. Feel that stretch through the base of the foot. Trying to work so the knuckles of my toes are pushing into the ground. All 5 knuckles into the ground. If you need to come out, feel free to stretch. Another 20 seconds. Again, opening through the hip flexor if you want. Very similar to a sissy squat, as Jacko was taking you through previously. Good. 15 seconds. I can feel my left foot's a little bit more jammed up than my right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Alright, so take your time coming out of that, but we're going to go straight into that piriformis stretch. So, feet out front. I'm going to take my right leg over the top. Give yourself a hug. So, straight away I can feel that stretch coming through deep into the glutes. And then from here, I'm going to twist towards that bent leg and just intensify that stretch. We're going to hold this position. As soon as you feel that it becomes easy, add a little bit more rotation or give it more squeeze or both. Good, guys. It's really sort of satisfying stretch, this one. Good, nice deep breaths. 30 seconds. Again, you can move in and out of this position as well. That feels nice. Good, 15 seconds. 10, 9, deep breaths. 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds. 4, keep squeezing. Give yourself a hug. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And again, give them a little shake. So this time, I'm going to take my right leg over the top, leave that left leg out, squeezing or pulling this knee towards me. So initially, taking that foot flat to the ground, and straight away this one feels easier, so I can lean or rotate further round. Feel that stretch, nice and deep in the glutes. Deep breaths. Again, for those of you who are office workers or sat at a desk, this is a really satisfying stretch. Just literally 2 minutes, and then you'll feel loads better through that hip. Good, 30 seconds. Again, rocking forwards and backwards. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, big hug. It's Friday. You've earned it. Good, feel that stretch. 15 seconds. Again, this is so that we can go into more lunge-based work, and we're not going to be mitigated by the tightness of our hip. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. So from here, we're not going to spend ages on this one. So remember, I've got 90 degrees through the hips, sitting down. So I'm already sat down onto my left leg, and I'm going to lean into this bent leg. Again, oscillate, have a little feel, see what's happening. Use that elbow, jam it out. When we go into a frog stand very shortly, this will be very beneficial for that. Good. I'm just pulsing backwards and forwards, leaning in. Another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Change sides. So I'm going to tuck that right leg underneath now. This is bent. Again, remember, try and keep that heel flat to the ground, leaning in. So I'm using my weight to get a little bit more dorsiflexion. Again, elbow in now, just to oscillate forwards and backwards, throw my weight forwards. I can use this elbow to pulse in and out, squeezing my hip in and out. Good. 15 seconds. 14, 13, 10 seconds. See if you can lean forwards. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Elephant walks next. So we're going to go up. Remember, hinge at the hip. We're going to work for 30 seconds. So remember, keep it the main thing. Push those knees back. Hands onto the shins wherever you feel most confident or comfortable, should I say. So from here, I'm then going to bend one knee, keeping that right leg straight. Oscillate back and forth. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. Good. I can really feel that. That's a lovely stretch. If you want to make it harder, bring your feet closer together. Activates the hamstring earlier. I can feel that one. Good. 12 seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Lean forwards further if you can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So now, baby lizard. So remember, lunging forwards. Remember what I said before. If you want to make this harder, take that back knee off the ground. So it can be here, hands on the inside, almost like a gecko. So I'm leaning forwards, backwards, right, left. And again, just having a little explore between these positions. Rotate in, rotate out, forwards, backwards. Good. That's halfway. Again, feel free to put that back knee down if you need the rest. But I can also intensify this by putting right hand on my right ankle and leaning in. But again, I'm trying to keep that heel flat to the ground. Good. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Changing sides. So I'll show you again. So remember, I've got my back knee down to start with. I'm going to lift that back knee. Just increases the amount of effort that we have to create, or that stability we're creating. Good. We're pushing down into the ground. Oh. Rotate left, rotate right. I can really feel it when I wind in to myself like that. Good. Forwards and backwards. Opening up that hip flexor. Good. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Good. Squeeze that back leg. 3. Quads on. 2 and 1. Good. Really nice, guys. So what we're going to look to do now is something that you potentially haven't looked to strengthen before. So hence, when we talk about conditioning, it's not just about making you tired, but we're trying to make you better throughout this whole process. So we're going to have a look at the hip flexors. So we warm the hip flexors up a little bit during that mobilization, whether it's the lizard or the baby lizard. But now we're going to dedicate a bit of time specifically to the hip flexor. Now these will be things, if you've got a mobility goal, or if you want to get good alignment when you're in things like a handstand, very beneficial for us to spend a bit of time and get these things, or basically the weak links in the chain, nice and strong. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do 3 sets, and we're going to superset it. So we're going to do a seated pike and then a lunge. So we're going to go pike, lunge, pike, lunge, pike, lunge. Now we're going to do between 3 and 5 reps. Now you will see why I've said between 3 and 5. What you might find is a little bit of cramping coming through the legs. So, right, I'll show you what we're after. In this position, I'm sat on the ground. So now I'm going to sat like a teddy bear position. So from here, what I'm going to look to do, I'm going to concentrate on one leg, then I'm going to do the other. So I'm going to alternate left to right. My hands are going to come forwards, so from the side, from here, and I'm going to point my toe, very important, because again, bring in the front of the shin. I'm going to lift my leg, drop it back down. Okay, so what you might find is a little bit of cramping. Cramping would denote a little bit of like weakness. Okay, so if you do get any sort of cramping, feel free to bend your legs or come out of that position. Right, let's go, shall we? So I'm sat on the ground. From here, I'm trying not to use momentum to lift my leg. I'm trying to activate the hip, or deep within the hip. So hands on the floor. So pushing into the ground, I'm going to point my toe, lift. 3, 2, 1, back down. Good. Move on to that right hand side. So point that toe. 3, 2, 1, back down. Good. Back to the left leg. So we're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. So 3, 2, 1, back down. Right hand leg. Remember, all coming from that hip flexor. 3, 2, 1. Good. So final one, and then we're going to go into the lunge. So remember, point that toe, lift it up using the hip flexor. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Good. Final one, right leg. Squeeze and lift. 3, 2, 1. Whew. One of the hardest things you'll do today, so really tough. So we're going to go now into a lunge position. So hence why I've got this yoga block. If you need a bit of stability, either use like a small stool or a yoga block, or if you've got a parallette. But now we're going to be in a long lunge position, hence we warm this up. So I'm going to be here. So notice how front knee bent, back knee bent. Now from here, I'm going to take that front foot further forward. I'm going to actively contract my front leg and my back leg to lift me up like this. Okay? Slowly down. We're going to do 3 reps on each. So I've got my left leg forward, right leg back. If you need to use like a yoga block for a bit of stability, feel free to do so. But the us ascending is done by squeezing, trying to pull the ground or our feet together. Does that make sense? So I'm not just throwing myself up, I'm actually trying to squeeze these together. Okay? So I'm going to do 3 reps on each leg. So, are you ready? Let's go. So, I've taken my front foot further forward. Remember, you can scale this. If you want to do a shorter position, you can be here. That's absolutely fine. Those of you who are more confident, take that front foot further away. So I'm leaning further in. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze. 2, 1. Slowly down. Short rest. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Good. Hips facing forwards the whole time. And again. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Slowly down. Good. Use your hands if you need. Change legs. So you can feel that. Can you feel that in your hips? And also in your hamstring. So I've changed legs now. And again, remember, I'm trying to challenge myself, like I said at the start, with like coordination and stability. But if you need to, remember, you've got your yoga block there, or a book, or a stool if you need it. So squeeze your legs together. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. 3 reps. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly down. Straight back in. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Slowly down. Good. Final one. Squeeze the legs together. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly down. Nice. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go straight back into those pike pulses. So feet facing forwards, pointing those toes. We're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, six total reps. Sides. Right, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Point those toes. 3, 2, 1. Down. 3, 2, 1. Down. 3, 2, 1. Down. 3. Point those toes. 2, 1. Down. Left hand side. 3, 2, 1. Good. Right hand side. 3, 2, 1. Good. If you want to make that harder next round, lean forwards a little bit further into that. Makes it harder to lift. Cool. So back into those lunges. Remember, if you find these easy, feel free to add a few more reps. So remember, nice and long position, squeezing or contracting those hip muscles together. Okay. So I've got my toes jammed into the back there. See if you can see there. Toes jammed into the back, nice and long in the front. Squeeze those together. 3. So I'm changing legs. Right leg back this time, or whichever is the opposite of what you've just done. Remember, jamming that toe into the back there. Hence we warmed it up in the start. Nice and long through the front. Stabilise if you need. I'm going to try without. So squeeze those legs. 3, 2, 1. Slowly down. And again. 3, 2, 1. Good. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Good. Straight back into those pikes. Notice how we're keeping rest nice and short. Again, it's not super demanding. So we're not. It's not super taxing, should I say. So we're trying to keep rest nice and short. So final one of these. Remember, if you want to make it harder, lean a little bit further forwards. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, let's go. So squeeze those legs. 3, 2, 1. Down. Tired now. 3. Point those toes. 2, 1. Down. Leaning forwards. 3, 2, 1. Down. 3, 2, 1. Down. Last one. 3, 2, 1. And last one on the right side. 3, 2. Point those toes. 1. Whew. Into the lunges. Let's go straight away, guys. Doing really well. So jam those toes in, nice and long. Squeeze those hips together. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. Down. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Down. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Down. Good. Changing sides. So change the legs. Leaning forwards. Again, the more I lean forwards, the more stretch I feel through that back leg. 3, 2, 1. Down. 2 more. 3, 2, 1. Down. Last one. 3, 2, 1. And down. Whew. Oh, cooked. But say it's not like muscular fatigue. You can really feel that within like the core of your hips. That deep-seated sort of fascia is keeping everything moving and grooving together. Does that make sense? So, what we're going to do now, we will be going into upper body. So we've done lower body. So we did a warm-up. We've done lower body. Now we're going to do upper body. Now, with this upper body, we're going to incorporate a little bit of lower body as well, because remember, the whole thing, the whole system works synergistically. So we're not just trying to isolate one muscle, because that's not how the body works. The body wants to work totally. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of frog stand work to start with. So those of you potentially working towards handstands, the frog stands, you know, you'll be very comfortable with. JD, great to have you on board. Kelly, great to have you as well. Boom, yes, loving the rocket emoji. Boom. So with our frog stand, I say we got our wrists a little bit warm when we did those like long lizards, but now remember the main thing we're looking at with a frog stand, we're not going to make this the focus, but we are going to sort of play with this pattern, as it were, now that our central nervous system nice and fired up. So hands about shoulder width apart, so like we're going to do a plank. So hands shoulder width apart. So I'm going to go take my feet, so top of a push-up position here, pushing the ground away. Now, if I want to find my frog position, I bring my feet forwards, okay? So don't change the width of my hands. A lot of people, they'll do a push-up here, but then when they go to do a frog, they'll either come narrow or they'll come wide. So, just to reiterate that, if I'm going to do a push-up, so hands go on the ground here, feet go back, so screwing those elbows in. Remember, as soon as we start to screw our shoulder into the socket, it winds up the stabilising fascia and our stability structures within the glenohumeral joint and the scapula. Boom! So elbows pointing backwards. That's the main thing to think about. Screw those shoulders in, elbows pointing backwards. So wrists on the ground. So from here, even this position, we can get nice and warm. Full plank, do some little circles. But the main thing we're going to do now, so elbows pointing backwards. I'm going to bring my heels forwards. You all right, mate? Yeah, do you mind just chucking on this bin? It's O. Cheers, pal. I told you, postman. Right. So from here, elbows pointing backwards. I'm going to be in this position. I'm going to bring the heels forwards. So without moving. Jackson. Elbows pointing backwards. So I'm going to be able to lean forwards in this position. Okay. So even in this position, I can leave my heels where they are. Okay. Without taking my feet off the ground. Okay. But those of you who are more confident, I can explore. So elbows pointing backwards. Leaning forwards, elbow in the crook of the knee, lean forwards here, and then I can start to take some of that weight into my wrists. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, and don't feel like you need to rush it. If you want a little bit more confidence, either put a book or a pillow in front of you. So in this position, you can have just a safety net, screwing those elbows in, leaning forwards onto a yoga block or a book, whatever you feel confident with. Okay. So I'm not gonna do that. But now what I want you to do is an exploration in this position. So elbows back. I'm going to lean forwards. Now in this position, I've taken 1 foot off. Take 2 feet off. I can move left, right, forwards, backwards. And again, at any point, if I need to come back down, again just coming back onto the feet. Again, don't rush it. If you're taking 1 foot off or 2 feet off, it doesn't matter, okay? But the main thing we're trying to do is start to engage some of this anterior pec and anterior shoulder, okay? These front muscles here. Right, so that is our frog stand. We're going to combine the frog stand with a mountain climber push-up. So, mountain climber push-up, same position that we did to find our frog stand. So, elbows pointing backwards. Taking the feet back. Now you may be working on your push-ups, and that's cool. Remember, elbows pointing back, and I can stay on my knees, pushing up. Okay, if I want to make it harder, go onto full plank. I can come slowly down, using my full weight, drop the knees, push it up. Again, take the knees off, slowly down, drop the knees, push it up. Or for those of you who feel they want to have a tackle at this, a mountain climber push-up. You guys are going to like this. So, I'll show you front on. I'm going to go front plank position. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to bring my right knee to touch my elbow. Take it back. Push up. Down. Change sides. Back. Push up. Okay? So very similar. If you want to get better at the lizard walk that we did last week, this is a really good exercise for you to try, especially if you don't have loads of room. Okay? I'll show you that one again. So, elbows pointing backwards, take the feet back. I'm going to come all the way down, take my right knee to touch my right elbow, take the foot back, push up, come down, left knee, left elbow, take it back, push up. So you're getting loads of time on attention. You can really feel that in your pecs, right? So really good sort of conditioning bit of work there. So you're really sending a lot of stimulus, both in a concentric, isometric, so isometric, where you're keeping the length tension relationship the same, and then from there the concentric, so eccentric, isometric, concentric. Right, so what we're going to do now is try and put these things together. Right, so we're going to do 3 of these reps. Now 1 rep is this. We're going to come push up, down, right knee touch, up, down, left knee touch, up, and then from here I'm going to hop my knees forwards, come into my frog stand. Okay, so that is 1 rep. If you want to just try a push up into a frog stand, that's fine as well. But we're sending a lot of stimulus to to our pushing muscles, the ones we need for handstands. Right, so let's go, shall we? Full plank position, all the way down, right knee touch elbow, take it back, up to the top, all the way down, left knee touch, back, up to the top. I'm going to hop forwards and then go into my frog stand. Okay? And trying to hold a frog stand, you know, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, that's absolutely fine. Our final test is going to be a endurance hold of the frog stand. Okay? Right. Hopefully that makes sense. So, push up, or mountain climber push up, other side, and then we go into a frog stand. Can you show the mountain climbers push up from the other angle? Hopefully I'll show you one more. So I'll be down here, down, right knee touch right elbow, down, up, down, left, down, up. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So let's go, shall we? Top plank position. Screwing elbows back. Come down. Right knee touch right elbow, right foot back. Up, all the way down. Left knee touch left elbow, back, up. I'm going to come forwards into my frog stand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you see me have to save it then. Right, keep working. So let's go again. Feet go back, all the way down. Right knee touch right elbow, back, up, down. Left elbow, left foot back, up. Coming forwards, again, find that balance point, pushing into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Got one more of these, guys, working really hard. Again, if you feel like you're struggling, scale it back, either do push-ups on your knees or leave one foot on your frog stand, either or. Let's go, shall we? Last one. So, working nice and hard. Elbows pointing back. Keep those glutes switched on. Coming down. Right knee touch your right elbow. Put it back. Drive up. All the way down. Holding that bottom position. Left arm, left elbow. Back. Up. Coming forwards. Elbows into the crook of the knee. Leaning forwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Whew. I can really feel that through the pecs. So, as a final challenge, we're going to go for an endurance effort hold on the frog stand. Because maybe you found the frog stand easier to start with, but now that you're tired, you're going to feel that our central nervous system is a little bit fried. But this is important when we're doing handstands, that we can build this sort of capacity or this endurance strength. Okay, you don't just want to be a one-trick pony. So, JD, I know you're ready. Messa, no worries. I'm happy to say any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and we'll work through those. Yes, it will be posted hopefully later. Again, remember, everything is available on YouTube. If you search School of Calisthenics, if you follow the live workouts or follow along workouts, everything's available on there as well. So, yes, it will be recorded, so you can watch again. Hopefully I'll get it up later today or over the weekend. Right, so last one of these, guys. Max effort hold. Wolfie Wolf 69. No worries, Wolfie Wolf 69. So, ideally, we're going to be looking for 20 seconds. Maybe you've got 30 seconds. Okay. We tend to say that if you can do like 30 seconds comfortably, then you're looking for the next progression. But as we're using this as a conditioning workout, we're going to see how long we can go for. Okay. Let's see if we can go for a minute. I'll get the stopwatch ready. So again, work to a capability that you feel you can hold. I know some of you, like JD, are working on harder variations with straight arms. If you want to try that, feel free. We'll say, let's just keep it, if you want, just a conventional frog stand. Okay? Are you ready? So this is the final thing we're going to do. We're going to go for a minute, but feel free to dip in and out as you go. So you might do 15, 20 seconds, come back out, come back in and out. Okay? But the main thing, I want you to look after your pretty faces. I don't want you to end up with no teeth and have to explain it to your boss or your partner. Okay? 1 minute. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. So I'm pushing into the ground. I'm trying to balance. I'm trying to mitigate any sort of control. Again, feel free. Oh, I had to adjust a little bit there. 15 seconds gone. Push the ground. Again, trying to use these balance strategies, pushing the ground with my fingertips, using those fingers. 27 seconds, 28, 29, 30. Keep pushing if you can. If you need to come out, do so. 36. Okay, my fingers are gripping hard. Pushing the ground. Keep going. 43, 44, 45. Keep going. I can feel this in my hips now. Again, all balance. Come on, let's go. 10 seconds. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Oh, my arms. Oh, well done, guys. Very well done. If you had a go at that, congratulations. Did anyone manage that? That was really, really hard. So, as you're finding there, obviously, when you're looking to do sort of more endurance stuff, say for example you're working towards a really long hold of a handstand, then you need to progressively build up time. So, bush proof almost. Abs cramp, yeah, so you're feeling all this, all these other muscles, this musculature that you're having to work on. JD, well done, nicest one, longest one yet. James, nice one dude, well done. Yippee! So really, really, really great work there, guys. So remember, you get good at what you repeatedly do. If you want to get a really good or really solid and long handstand, you need to progressively work that and build into your training. But it's also good, remember, the systems that we work today. So we're stretching the posterior chain, and also strengthening the lower body, because again it can be easy to forget about the lower body when we're doing calisthenics, but showing you there that that obviously even without any weight, when we're doing those pike raises, really difficult because we're working on this the chassis, the underlying structure of the body. Okay, so remember, during this time, bodyweight basics completely free. So that was a £40 product. So you can be working on getting stronger with minimal equipment. And just remember, these workouts are going up live between Monday and Friday. So during the working week, and then you can also check back. They'll be available on a series within Instagram. So if you go on IGTV, they're listed in a follow along workout there. And then remember that they're also available on YouTube. So apologies about the technical difficulties. And again, I knew the postman was going to come. Always comes during the middle of this, asking my name, wants a signature. So I've been Coach Owen, and I really appreciate you guys coming on board today. Remember, Sunday is a really, really big day. It was meant to be the School of Calisthenics sort of anniversary, the live, but this will all be podcasts. So throughout the day, live podcasts for you guys to enjoy during this time. Also, in the description of this, there is a number that you can get, and it will give you updates and live workouts, everything that's happening. So I wish you nothing but happiness during this time. Remember, currently during lockdown, virtual classroom you can join from as little as £5. That is 50% off. So your first month is 50% off, and its first 7 days is free. So it's literally a no-brainer. So I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. Bushproof, Mesa, Mohammed, Mark, thank you all so much. I appreciate you on YouTube, guys. Have a strong week, and I'll see you. There's no live on Monday, but remember, all these workouts are available for you to enjoy after the fact. Okay? So any questions, feel free to send them through to me, Owen B. Jackson, on Instagram. So YouTube, thank you. Have a great day. Right, Insta.